I'm going to go back and explain that clip that was at the beginning so you can actually see what it is that I'm trying to show you, and I'll explain it a little bit more. But when we left off the last video when I was talking about what was wrong with the car, I said this. So that pretty much narrowed it down to what the problem was. Now, of course, this is pending taking the rear end apart and not finding anything else is broken in there, but I really don't think anything is. Now, obviously, from the video title, you can tell that it was much worse than opinion bearing. I was a little optimistic that that was going to be the extent of my problem, but once the differential cover was taken off, he pulled the differential out, and he said he wanted to take some measurements, so he put the dial indicator on it and he tested the run out, and this is the result of that. Now, it's kind of hard to tell from the video because YouTube will compress the quality and all that, and the quality wasn't the best to begin with. But essentially what you're looking at is testing the run out, and for in-spec it should be 0.000 to 0.003. Mine tested at 0.006, which means it was over twice over the limit of the high-end limit of what the differential run-out should be. So that means my differential was completely smoked. It's weird because when I drove it back from the track, it didn't seem like it was, other than the noise, I knew there was something wrong with it, but it didn't seem like it was really damaged all that bad. But I feel as though if I had ignored this and said, whatever, I'll just keep driving it probably would have led to some pretty catastrophic results and maybe tore the rear end up a lot worse than just the differential needing to be replaced. Good news is my ring and pinion gear were amazing shape, no issues there. So all I had to do was buy the new differential rear end housing. Now I'm going to play that clip again from the very beginning, and what I want you to try to focus in on is, yeah, I misshifted it. The T56 is an incredibly hard transmission to drive at the track. I have quite a fair amount of track experience. I used to go there a lot at New England Dragway, which is where this was, driven multitude of different cars there. And the T56 transmission is something that I never encountered before, as far as it being so hard to get from that second to third gear shift. It kept bouncing it back at me. It was like hitting a brick wall. It was really, really hard to drive that shifter in there. And it wasn't an issue of, we just get a short throw shifter or something like that. It's got an MGW in it. It wasn't that. The T56 just really sucks as far as, it's good for power and that kind of stuff, but it's in being built. But as far as like a good, smooth street driving transmission or to take something to the drag strip, it's not that great. Anyway, what I want you to focus in on is right when you hear that misshift, you'll see the car will kick out just a little bit. And then I focus in on it more with video editing. But keep in mind, this was recorded on a cell phone from a long distance away. I had to zoom in on the video from what the original format was because you can't even see the back end twitch. But if you watch it closely, you'll see the back end twitch a little bit. And when it did that, I felt something horrible in the rear end, and that's when everything broke. I went to shove it in to that 2 to 3 shift, and it bounced back at me, and then I don't know, it's hard to remember exactly what I did. It was a while ago. This was back in like late October. But I was trying to get it back into gear, so I pushed the clutch in. I believe I went to put it in gear again, and maybe it went in, maybe it didn't. But either way, the rear end felt like, I don't know if it actually did, but what it felt like was that it locked up and like the car just kind of kicked sideways a little bit. It was really, really weird. And the reason why I didn't think it was broken worse than it turned out to be is because it felt so bad, but then it drove fine. So it's really weird, other than the noise it was making on deceleration. But I'll go back, show that clip again, and let me know if you can actually see where it kicks out like that. So the good news is that, like I said a few minutes ago, that is just a differential. I was able to get one at a better cost than what you see them priced at. I was able to get this one through Cobra Dan for $350, and as of recording this video, I have not heard back for it being done yet. But the last time I did hear from him, which was earlier in the week, or the week that I'm recording this, because you're watching this a little bit later, it would be done during the week that I'm filming this on, and I'm filming this on a Friday. So I'm hoping the car is wrapped up today or early Saturday, and I can pick it up. So by the time you're watching this, I'll most likely have it back. But it's a little bit longer of a wait, and it should be done. Everything else was done. The engine was put back together, not like the engine, but the top half. The blower was off, valve covers are off, new valve covers are going on, and some other touch-up things on the engine to make it look better. That was all done. The cats were on. So the only thing left was to put the differential in, check all the measurements, make sure everything is good as far as clearances and all that, the gear pattern, all that stuff, and then button it up, throw some rear end gear oil in it, and the car is done. So there's really not that much left to do on it. So that's the update video. I should have it back fairly soon, and I do have a lot more stuff coming up with it. I'm going to buy some more accessories to really freshen up the engine bay a little bit. I mentioned in the last video I was doing the Harpel tanks, the split tanks. I'm still doing those. I haven't ordered them as of yet, the day I'm recording this, but by the time you watch this, they will be on order. Probably going, since I have to drain the coolant system anyway to put the tanks on, I'm most likely going to take the opportunity to change out the intercooler pump. I like to put a better flowing pump in there, and I don't know if that's still the original pump. I know it's an original unit. It's not an aftermarket one, so it may have been replaced with another factory one at some point. But either way, I want better flowing coolant through that whole system. And I already have upgraded heat exchanger. I'll have the bigger tank, so it should flow pretty well once all that's tied together. I haven't decided on exactly which one I'm going to buy yet. I was looking at the KMJ one, but those are out of stock. And close, another one that I was looking at really closely was the VMP brushless one. The KMJ one is also brushless. I think I'd be fine with either one of those. It all depends on if the KMJ one is in stock. When I go to order, I'll grab that. If not, I'll get the VMP one and kind of go from there. So that's it. Just a quick update on the Cobra. It's really the last hang up. Once this is all buttoned up and all done and I pick it up, it's pretty much all set for the summer, other than doing the coolant upgrade stuff and the tanks. It's really not too difficult to do that, so I'll do that home in my garage. It'll be warmer by then anyway, so I'm a lot more willing to work on the car than early March, like when I brought the car down there when it's just so friggin' cold up here. So that's it. Let me know what you have going on with your Cobra. What's being done to yours as far as mods or your Mustang or whatever you're driving for a project car. I do have some car shows coming up. I'll do some filming of that as well, and just some more general Mustang topics and some general Cobra specific topics. And I'll keep doing videos as long as I can for the most part. If you did make it this far in the video, make sure to leave it a like. If you're new to the channel, the sub button is down below. But above all else, thanks for watching.